The sun hung high over the Mississippi rally, casting warm rays on the sea of faces gathered in anticipation. People had come from all around, united by a shared hope for change and a longing for justice. Among them stood 17-year-old Tamara Jones, her heart racing as she felt the weight of the moment. She had asked to speak, wanting to share her thoughts with those who had come to listen. As she glanced around the crowd, she noticed their nervous murmurs. Some exchanged worried looks, unsure of what a young girl might say at such an important gathering. Yet Tamara felt a fire within her. This was her chance to voice the struggles of her generation and to inspire others to continue the fight for equality. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a towering figure in the movement, stood nearby, observing the crowd's mixed emotions. His presence alone brought a sense of calm, but he could feel the tension in the air. He believed deeply in the power of youth and the voices of the next generation. With a reassuring smile, he stepped forward and handed Tamara the microphone. In that moment, the atmosphere shifted. The crowd fell silent, eyes fixed on Tamara, who felt both anxious and empowered. The microphone felt heavy in her hand, but she knew she had a message worth sharing. As she took a deep breath and stepped up to the makeshift stage, the world around her seemed to fade away. Tamara began to speak, her voice steady yet soft at first. She spoke about her dreams for a better future, where everyone would be treated with respect and dignity, no matter their skin color. She shared stories from her life, tales of hope mingled with challenges that echoed through the hearts of many present. It was clear that this young woman had something powerful to say, something that would resonate far beyond that sunny day in Mississippi. As the atmosphere grew tense, the crowd buzzed with nervous energy. Many people whispered to each other, exchanging glances filled with uncertainty about what was about to unfold. They marveled at Tamara's bravery, a young girl standing up to speak at a rally that held so much weight. Would she be able to express what they all felt? Could she articulate their hopes and fears? In a world where adults often led the fight for justice, Tamara's presence reminded everyone of the vital role that youth play in social movements. Her age didn't diminish her voice. It added a fresh perspective that resonated deeply with many. The elders present felt both admiration and concern as they thought back to their own younger years when they struggled to find their voice amidst the thick silence of oppression. Families stood together, holding their children close, wanting to protect them yet hoping they would learn from this important moment. The older generation listened intently as they remembered how the cries for justice once echoed through their own youth. Between the hope and fear in the air, there was an underlying sense of urgency. Many felt that the torch of activism was being passed on to the next generation. Amidst the shifting emotions in the crowd, Tamara felt their collective anxiety and inspiration blend into something powerful. She understood that her words could ignite hope or spark fear. As she looked out at the sea of faces, she sensed their anticipation mixed with worry, recognizing just how significant her moment was for everyone involved. Dr. King's assurance lingered in her mind like a warm embrace, fueling her courage further. She realized that speaking up wasn't just about her. It was about every young person who had ever felt silenced or unheard. With each passing second, as nervous murmurs faded into silence, Tamara prepared to give voice to those dreams and struggles that echoed throughout the crowd, ready to inspire change. As the crowd's anticipation reached a peak, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stepped forward, commanding the attention of everyone present. His presence was powerful, a beacon of hope and strength for those gathered in that Mississippi field. Dressed in his signature suit, he radiated calmness, contrasting with the fluttering nerves of the audience. They looked to him not only as a leader but as a symbol of their shared struggle and resilience. King understood the importance of this moment, especially for Tamara Jones. He could sense her anxiety as she stood at the edge of stepping into her own power. Without a word, he approached her, lifting the microphone from its stand and extending it toward her with both trust and encouragement. This simple act carried profound meaning. It was not only an invitation for her to speak but also a gesture that said, "I believe in you." The crowd watched closely as he handed over that microphone, signaling a passing of the torch to a new generation. The murmuring quieted as eyes shifted back to Tamara. She felt encouraged by Dr. King's faith in her ability to convey the hopes and struggles of her peers. It was a moment where youth was empowered by the legacy of past leaders who had fought tirelessly for justice. The significance hung in the air like a promise, an acknowledgement that each voice mattered, regardless of age. With her heart still racing, Tamara took a deep breath and grasped the microphone firmly in her hands. The crowd leaned in closer, eager to hear what this brave young woman had to say. Dr. King stepped back slightly but remained close by, his presence providing reassurance as she began to find her voice amidst the silent sea of faces. As she started to speak, it became clear that this moment was about more than just one girl's speech. It was about igniting a collective spirit and continuing the fight for equality that Dr. King himself had championed. This rally represented hope and change, and now it was Tamara's turn to inspire them all. As Tamara Jones gripped the microphone, her heart raced with a mix of excitement and anxiety. The crowd, once filled with murmurs and whispers, now fell into a focused silence, eagerly awaiting her words. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their expectations but also the belief that Dr. King had shown her. This was her moment to share not just her thoughts, but the feelings and dreams of her generation. "Thank you for being here," she began, her voice steady yet soft. "I'm just a girl from Mississippi, but I have dreams like everyone else." She paused, scanning the audience before continuing. "I dream of a world where our skin color doesn't determine our worth." Her eyes shone with determination as she spoke passionately about the challenges young people like herself faced: discrimination, fear, and uncertainty. Tamara shared stories from her life that resonated with many in the crowd. She talked about experiences at her school, where students were judged not by their abilities but by their backgrounds. "We're tired of being overlooked," she declared. "We want to be heard. We want to be seen." The audience erupted with quiet cheers and nods of agreement. Each word Tamara spoke painted a vivid picture of hope. She spoke of unity and how young people could rise together to create change. "We are the future," she said, "and we must stand up for what is right." Her message was clear. It was time for the younger generation to take an active role in shaping their destiny. As she continued, her voice grew stronger, filled with emotion and conviction. She described dreams of equality, peace, and respect for every individual regardless of their race or background. The crowd listened intently, captivated by her passion and authenticity. Tamara's heartfelt speech echoed throughout the rally, igniting a flame of inspiration among those present. In that moment, it became apparent that her words were not just hers alone. They represented the struggles and hopes of countless young people yearning for a better future. Each heartfelt sentence carried the weight of a generation ready to make its mark on history. As Tamara's voice filled the air, the crowd hung on her every word, captivated by the passion and sincerity that poured from her heart. When she spoke about equality and justice, each phrase seemed to echo deep within them, stirring emotions that many had kept bottled up for far too long. Faces in the audience reflected a range of feelings: hope, sadness, and determination mixed together as they connected with her message. "We need change," Tamara proclaimed, her eyes scanning the crowd, locking in on those who needed to hear her plea. "It's not just about us, it's about everyone who has felt the weight of being treated unfairly." As she described specific incidents where discrimination had affected her and her friends, gasps of recognition rippled through the audience. Many remembered their own experiences and struggles, feeling every word resonate as if she were speaking directly to their souls. Tamara painted a vivid picture of what justice could look like: a world where everyone can walk down the street without fear of judgment or harassment. "Imagine a community where we uplift each other," she urged passionately. "A place where our differences are celebrated instead of scorned." The crowd began to respond with murmurs of agreement, fists raised in solidarity. Tears welled up in some eyes as they envisioned a brighter future for their children and themselves. As Tamara continued to speak about change being possible through unity, a powerful silence enveloped the gathering. Each listener felt a spark ignited within them. They shared an understanding that they held the power to create this change together. People began whispering affirmations or nodding along, feeding off her energy and conviction. With every moment that passed, it became clear that Tamara's words were more than just a speech, they were a catalyst for action. The emotional impact rippling through the crowd fostered an atmosphere of resilience and motivation. It was a reminder that together they could strive for justice and equality, committed to fighting for what was right. In this pivotal moment at the rally, Tamara Jones had transformed not only herself but also those present into a collective force ready to stand up and demand change for their community. As Tamara concluded her speech, the crowd erupted into applause, their cheers filling the air with an electric energy. Amidst the celebration of her words, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood quietly a few steps away, visibly moved. Tears glistened in his eyes, a poignant display of emotion that encapsulated the significance of the moment. For King, Tamara's heartfelt expressions resonated on a deeply personal level. He was reminded of his own youth, when he had first dared to dream of justice and equality. The tears he shed symbolized not only his pride in her courage, but also a profound connection between generations, the struggles faced by those who came before and the hopes carried by the youth today. As he wiped his eyes, King felt a surge of hope knowing that the fight for civil rights was being passed on to passionate young voices like Tamara's. He understood that this was a pivotal moment, not just for her, but for everyone who stood together in that Mississippi field. Her words echoed the sentiments of countless activists who had sacrificed so much in pursuit of justice. The crowd continued to cheer, their applause growing louder, but for a moment, it felt as if time stood still around King. He recognized that this young woman represented the future, a future filled with promise and possibility. Her call for change was not merely an echo of the past. It was a vibrant declaration that urged them all to continue pushing forward. As the rally continued, King stepped forward to join Tamara at the front. His presence beside her signified unity and solidarity, a reminder that they were all part of this ongoing struggle together. He raised his hands to quiet the crowd and spoke with heartfelt sincerity. "Tamara," he said softly, "you have given us hope today. Your voice is a testament to the power we have when we stand together." In that moment, as they stood side by side, it became clear that a new chapter in the civil rights movement was beginning, one fueled by passion, driven by the youth who would carry on the fight for equality and justice in their communities and beyond. In the days following the rally, the local newspaper published a powerful piece that captured the essence of what had unfolded in that Mississippi field. The headline boldly proclaimed, "The moment the baton was passed," emphasizing not only Tamara's role in that important event, but also the symbolic transition of leadership within the civil rights movement. Reporters noted how her courageous words resonated with a crowd yearning for change, marking a pivotal shift towards a new generation of activists embracing their voices. The article highlighted Tamara as a representative of youthful energy and determination, showcasing her as part of an emerging wave of leaders ready to take on the mantle held by figures like Dr. King. The writer pointed out that her speech was not merely a momentary occurrence. It was an indication that passionate young people were stepping forward to claim their place in the fight for equality and justice. Many community members shared their thoughts about Tamara in interviews for the article. "She spoke for us all," one elder remarked, recalling how they once stood at similar rallies, filled with hope and dreams for a better future. Another attendee confessed to feeling inspired by Tamara's bravery to share her story, feeling hopeful for what might come from this new wave of leadership. The paper's commentary not only celebrated Tamara but also called on others to support young voices like hers, encouraging citizens to engage with the next generation of leaders. It served as a reminder that change is often driven by those who are willing to speak up and stand firm against injustice. As people read and discussed the article throughout town, it ignited conversations about community involvement and encouraged many to reflect on their own roles in advocating for change. The rally had become more than just an event. It was a catalyst inspiring newfound energy among citizens committed to continuing the fight for civil rights alongside youth like Tamara Jones. With her voice echoing through Mississippi, the future looked brighter, a promise that generations past had dreamed of but now had tangible hope of achieving through their children. The moment Tamara Jones spoke at the rally signifies more than just a single event. it stands as a powerful reminder of how one brave voice can spark inspiration and mobilize many others. Young activists today can look to Tamara's courage as proof that their words and actions can have far-reaching impacts. In an age where the fight for justice continues to unfold, her story exemplifies the importance of stepping forward, even in moments of uncertainty. Leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once faced daunting challenges as they bravely addressed systemic injustices, and now this new wave of young leaders carries that legacy forward. They learn from the past while infusing their unique perspectives and experiences into the ongoing struggle for equality. The foundation laid by activists who came before them provides both inspiration and a roadmap, showing them that change is possible with determination and a united front. Tamara's heartfelt expressions were felt not only in Mississippi but echoed across the nation, reaching hearts in every community. Her ability to articulate the hopes and struggles of her generation resonated deeply, encouraging others to join in the discourse about social change. This moment serves as a pivotal lesson that youth are not just followers but dynamic leaders capable of driving movements forward. By sharing her personal experiences with discrimination and envisioning a world where everyone is treated with dignity, Tamara lit a fire within those listening. Young activists today are reminded that they, too, have a role to play, by standing up, speaking out, and fostering solidarity among their peers. As conversations about justice evolve, Tamara's example reveals how essential it is for young people to engage passionately with the issue at hand. From organizing community events to speaking at rallies, every action counts, proving that together they can forge connections and create lasting change. In celebrating Tamara Jones's bravery, it becomes clear that this pivotal moment was not merely about passing the baton from one generation to another. It emphasized that each young leader has the potential to rise up and make their mark on history, continuing the legacy of those who fought before them and inspiring future generations in turn. In reflecting on the significance of Tamara Jones's speech at the rally, it becomes clear that this moment in history serves as a vital turning point for young activists everywhere. Her powerful words not only resonated with those present but also echoed across communities, inspiring countless others to find their own voices and stand up for what they believe in. Tamara's courage to speak out against injustice embodies the spirit of activism that has been passed down through generations, reminding us all that change often begins with one brave individual willing to share their story. This rally was not merely an event but a catalyst for a new wave of leadership, demonstrating how youth can play an essential role in shaping the future. As Tamara articulated her dreams for equality and justice, she ignited a spark within her peers, encouraging them to envision a world where everyone is treated with respect, regardless of their background. Her speech highlighted the importance of solidarity among young people, emphasizing that every action taken in the pursuit of justice contributes to a larger movement. Tamara's experience serves as a call to action for all young individuals who may feel unheard or overlooked. It encourages them to recognize their potential to influence change within their communities and beyond. Just as Dr. King once inspired a nation with his vision, Tamara offers a fresh perspective and hope for the future, reinforcing the idea that the fight for civil rights is far from over. As we honor Tamara's contributions, we must also remember the responsibility that comes with it. Each young person has the power to advocate for justice, whether through speaking at rallies, organizing community events, or simply engaging in discussions about important social issues. The legacy of leaders like Dr. King lives on through these actions, and Tamara embodies this continuity of purpose. Ultimately, Tamara Jones's moment at the rally serves as a reminder that the future belongs to those brave enough to speak up and take action. Encouraging youth everywhere to embrace their voices means fostering a new generation committed to fighting for equality and justice, ensuring that the dream of a better world is not just an aspiration but an achievable reality.